So we've got Ziggy versus Albino. Albino has also been streaming quite a bit. And I would check his stream out. He's been doing Battle Aces. Great player. I think he's tied for rank 1 in 2v2 with Theory.
Maybe? I don't know. I've been looking at the 2v2s too much, to be honest. But
Ziggy is basically an ex-StarCraft 2 pro. Actually does some work at ESL as well. Resides in Korea. Is getting a PhD in Korean language.
True.
And is very good at Korean.
All my legs are intact.
1 second, guys.
We're going to get the overlay sorted out here in a second.
I think it was...
Should we start walking?
And give us one more sec, guys. Just getting the overlay set up here.
Boop. All right.
Boop, indeed. So Ziggy's going to be in the top right. He's going for Gunbot. Ziggy's been loving the Gunbot play.
Oh, yeah. Look at him just rallying one by one like a conga
It's like
line.
ants just marching towards some old sandwich on a park. Meanwhile, Albino's gone for Scorpions.
He's going to try to go for a flank maneuver here, setting one section up to the top side here, trying to get a nice little surround on some of these gun bots in the middle. Ziggy, nice micro, a Terran at heart. Try hard Terran as always, trying to get away with them stimmed up here. We'll be able to get in between and not really take too many losses there. So nice micro there from Ziggy.
So both players going for tech on 2 bases. King Crab, Destroyer versus Mortar Crusader. Now, Crusader... some people might have a hard time telling the difference between a Crusader and a King Crab initially. The Crusader is tankier but doesn't do splash damage.
Yeah, they're very tanky. They're super strong, not splash damage like you said. So a little bit more difficult to get them to work against large clumped units like the Gunbots and Scorpions and whatnot. But they honestly just don't die unless you have some really good anti-durable units. So. Albino does have Destroyers in his composition, though, so that will definitely help out a lot if there are Crusaders on the field from Ziggy. But we'll see if he goes for them or the Mortars, and it will be some Mortars to start off here to get some space control to really stop these Scorpions from being able to dive too deep, but they're already pretty deep onto these Gunbots in this corner.
Actually, I think this might be okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty sick setup. It just barely covers that. Ziggy's really good at this, by the way. I've spec'd a bunch of his games. I feel like he's definitely one of the best people in the whole game with these kind of pushes. So he'll set up out here, and he'll start to kind of reach out on the map and try to get in range and punish the third. But hold on a second. I mean, this is actually just a timing. Albino wants to come in here and crush. Albino with his beautiful white albino crabs is coming in on top of the mortars. All 3 are gone. And, I mean, I think Gunbots technically can, over time, whittle this down, but I don't think there's any recourse here for saving the base.
Yeah, that will get taken out, and the thing now is that crabs are so fast that they can actually now outrun the Gunbots a little bit here, so we will be able to save a few of those as well. So as long as Albino can stay alive with this third base right here, he's going to be in an excellent position to eventually close out this game. Ziggy is now on a bit of a timer as he's not remade this third base, and he's continuing to make tech units like Mortars and Crusaders to try and do a nice big finishing blow of a counterattack to end this game. If he cannot do that, he's going to find himself in a really impossible situation.
Okay, Albino's going to wrap around. It does seem like having a good surround is so important in this game. Not having stuff kind of bunched up. Okay, here we go. He's going to come in. Oh my god, these crabs in the back are going to just destroy these mortars. And it means it's just going to be Crusaders and Gunbots versus so many Scorpions and King Crabs. This game should be over, I think.
Yeah, that was incredibly well done by Albino right there. A massive flank setup, very nicely done. Ziggy out in the first game. Some decent plays, I think, though. The mortar play, I think, is... I think he got a little bit caught into some awkward spots there, perhaps, at first, and couldn't really continue to, I don't know, scale properly. But, I mean, Albino, just king crabs, man. Just bulldoze right through.
Every time I see Ziggy play a game and lose, I think about that LG commercial that he was in. Go to YouTube and type in, if you're watching Moon... LG or something like that, like Moon the Warcraft player, but they filmed. I'm in the commercial too as a caster, but they filmed a pretend match of Moon versus Ziggy, and Ziggy had to be the guy that was losing and act like that.
Yeah.
That raging gamer that's blaming his equipment. It's so funny.
He's pretty good in that, man. His acting was actually on point.
He should have won an Oscar for that.
Who cares about Timothy Chalamet? Give it to
No.
Ziggy.
Give it to the Zigs.
Ziggy.
The Zigglers.
What's that? What's his real name? Do you even know his real name? It's like Simon
Ziggy
something?
and then a Polish last name.
Ziggerskoshkabosh.
It's Sesman. Sesman.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Nice. Ziggy pierogies.
Ziggy's. Pierogies, man. I haven't had pierogies in a while.
My grandma used to make them all the time because I'm actually Polish too. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Artosis is Polish too.
What the?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of Polish people out here?
Yeah.
Jeez, okay.
When you go to Poland, man, there's a lot of RTS people there.
That's true. That's true.
I remember playing StarCraft 1 and looking at the number of just people that were on like the whatever the foreigner server was, and just seeing like that many Polish flags. I'm like, what? That's wild. All right, guys, game 2. Right now, Albino up 1-0. Pretty straightforward game, to be frank.
Should we start
Yep.
walking?
Comps
are going to be the same.
Ooh, one base rush though.
Oh,
Ready to
what?
smash.
King Crab rush coming out of Albino.
Now, I will tell you this. Recall's pretty good against the King Crab Rush. I think Gunbot's also pretty good.
You think so?
Yeah, Gunbots you got to just wedge. You got to wedge them somewhere where they can't get the surface area surround
True.
and sack some of your workers, but I think you're okay.
The other good thing about them, I guess, is that you can stay on the map the whole time and basically kite them to your base, which a lot of the other units, you can't quite do that. The speed and DPS of the Gunbots allow you to actually do that, similar to kind of like Marine Micro or like Blink Stalker Micro in StarCraft 2, where you would kite them across the map before they get to you. But I feel like once the King Crabs actually get there, they're really able to just squish the Gunbots really fast. The splash damage makes it really, really bad once they get on top of them.
Well, I don't feel like he should be on the map at all versus this build. Because if you get caught, then you're going to be in trouble. Maybe he can kite a little bit. Also, with this rush, because I do this rush too, yeah, the 5 King Crabs, I will make destroyers after this and just have the destroyers shoot down their Crusaders. So with this might come down to, like, it looks like Ziggy's almost dead, and then the destroyers finish him off. But look, he's really good with the stutter step micro. He's going to try to chisel this down as best he can.
Well, that King Crab actually gets DPS down pretty nicely there, but he's just trying to get as many Scorpions down as possible, so that way then the rest of the units can eventually get them. Going into the natural here with his Gunbots, it's kind of interesting. It's now going to split up the units here, but it's like also going to allow it for the King Crabs to get on top of some of them a little bit, and also onto the workers of the main base here.
Yeah, actually, he did a really good job. It looks like not that good initially because he's going to lose everything at his natural. I think he could still save this base. Well, actually, maybe not. But it allows you to basically get your Crusaders out, and the Crusaders are going to win the fight long term. So it's 1 base to 1 base now. So you got to remember that when you see this rush. You can see somebody lose an expansion and be like, oh man, they're screwed. But actually, it's even now.
Yeah. And technically, the player that had expanded does have that little bit of extra boost of income that they got from the expansion still left over. So they do still kind of have a nice little window there where they will have some more units defensively. It seems like with the worker damage as well, though, it's starting to kind of even out a little bit. And Albino still does have a really good unit.
Are there destroyers coming up? There they are. They're there. So this is the killing move. This, if it's not controlled perfectly... Uh-oh. Mortars are out. Oh, the mortars are not being protected, though. Oh, I feel like he just had a bad position here. He needed to basically cover the mortars perfectly. And I think this game's actually over now. Yeah, there it is. So that rush, Scorpion, King Crab, and then the mortars come in. I think... I'm sorry, then the destroyers come in. I think mortars actually beat that. But you need to have them protecting everything.
Yeah. I think it was unfortunate that the mortars kind of spawned there, and then they were a bit out of position, and the Scorpions were not actually in front to buffer a little bit. Yeah, no, I think that was I'm kind of curious because I feel like actually I don't really know. I'm not seeing this type of rush that much to be honest. I usually just don't. I don't know. I defend it with just, destroyers, and then I just watch them evaporate, and then I'm like, hey, I win the game. So seeing it without the destroyers on the defensive side is it feels like there's a lot more opportunities just to have a lot of weird stuff kind of happen.
I probably won at least half my games just by immediately getting to their base and just crush. It's a good strategy, It's hard to deal with. I do think that Ziggy handled the first part of the rush pretty well. because he had his gunbots pull away from his main base, and when he does that, it keeps most of the workers alive. The Crusaders come out, and they will beat the King Crabs and the Scorpions. Then you need 2 to 3 gunbots that just basically let you take a third again. And instead, his mortars came out late enough that when the push came in, the Scorpions and the Crabs actually hit the mortars at the top, so he didn't have anything protected.
We'll see if he wants to do a little bit of a switch up here with any of the units, or if he's going to even... Well, I mean, we'll see if Albino even wants to do the same thing again. I wonder if you could just keep doing that King Crab Rush just over and over again.
Man, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
And also, you're saving your other builds that you could use in the tournament.
It's true.
Okay, we're ready to go into... This is game 3 right now. Ziggy hoping to keep the reversal alive. Albino looking pretty fierce.
Look at them. They're doing the expansion chicken.
It's expansion chicken.
Ziggy's so afraid of that again.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Okay, they both did it.
Battle chickens.
Get the chickens from Stormgate and put them in here and make them
That's
fight.
I was trying to think of a lame catchphrase for like when we're casting battle aces, and I was like, tighten your braces. We're casting battle aces. Like, get the rubber bands on your braces. Like, it hurts. Teeth hurt. I don't know.
Oh, no. I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't know either.
That was awesome.
Okay, so this game, Gunbot's in the middle. He's going to be trying to play keep away. And he could end up actually surrounding him here.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice position here. So, oh wow, the gunbots are actually so slippery. They can just get right between all of those Scorpions. Very nicely done. Ziggy is so good with this early gunbot micro. Very proficient at it. We'll even jump over to get a couple shots on the top here. And Albino's just kind of running to the bottom, just trying to get these gunbots somewhat out of position to also actually force a lot of the overclocks early, so that way then it's a little harder for them to run around. As you can see, only half of them actually had a cooldown available right then. So now it's going to get a little awkward, and now the Scorpions do have some opportunity here. As you can see, only a few of them actually able to run away will allow a surround to happen. And a couple more gunbots from Ziggy coming from the top side will start to save a few, but still a pretty decent trade there for Albino, I think.
You know, it's funny, when you watch this Gunbot play, it looks so busted. It's just so hard for the melee units to get him. But watch a Gunbot player when their workers get hit and the Gunbots are in the middle of the map. The game ends. So, we have air tech here for Ziggy. Dragonflies are out. Sorry, what is the anti-air tech? He just has Hornets.
Yep.
So, Hornets can win this fight.
Oh, but not when they're not even there at all. He's going to jump right on top of the Scorpions, trying to kill as many of those as possible on his way across the map here. We'll find those Hornets, and yeah, they will start to take care of those Dragonflies fairly quickly. They're also just such fast units that they can actually chase them. One of the few anti-air units that actually can do that in the game here. But now with Enforcers out on Ziggy's side, it's going to be a little bit more difficult here, and Albino definitely wants to back up here. Doesn't want to over-engage into those... What are these
Mammoths.
Things? Mammoths. Sorry, they call them.
You scared me so badly. You called them Enforcers. I'm like, I don't know
I
that
don't know
unit.
why.
I don't know that
why
unit. I'm freaking out now. Like,
did I just make that up? Is there even a unit called an Enforcer?
It sounds like it could be. It could be a unit in the game, 100%. In fact, that idea.
Sign me on Cap Games. I got great ideas for unit names.
That name is open source. Cap Games.
All right, he's getting on top of the units here in the middle. The Mammoth's actually getting pretty killed off pretty quickly here. The Gunbot's also getting absolutely destroyed once the Scorpions and Crabs able to get on top of them. The Dragonflies on the back end not able to do too much damage either. Getting quite a few at the natural here. So it's actually forcing Albino to really be down on the economy. So this fight is really going to be important here at the front.
So he's going to try to push in further. He doesn't have to win with this attack, but he might anyways. 2 destroyers in the back. Now the destroyers, I mean, how good are they against Mammoths, actually?
They're kind of good, actually. Once you actually get on top of them, they actually do melt them pretty quickly. As you can see, they will get a couple shots off. The problem is that their range is quite low, so it's hard to sometimes get in range to kill them off. But once they do, it does evaporate, and wow, everything is getting killed off here. The Dragonflies on the other side also not really able to do too much here. Albino really getting a nice final shove into this natural.
Yeah, this game is over. Ziggy did a good job with the Dragonflies trying to be a nuisance, but I think Hornets just seem to they're just not. It's not hard to get enough of them out to stop it and win that fight.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Ziggy. I think maybe his skills didn't get to shine too much in that series. I think he definitely has a lot more to show for sure. I mean, his gunbot micro is extremely good, but I mean, to be fair, he didn't actually really switch it up too much to maybe find some Scorpion play or something else, maybe something that is used a little bit more often to maybe give him a more, what's the word, just a better position to then go into a mid game. Because it felt like some of these games just kind of ended really short, and maybe he just kind of got in an awkward position with the tech transitions and whatnot.
I feel like I've messed with mortars a little bit. I would say I'm not very good at using them. I think it's partially just because I did not play Terran in my StarCraft career. But I feel like the early part of the game is the hardest part. You need to basically have really good gunbot control and then really get the mortars set up. And after you get it set up, I think the game becomes a little bit easier. But Albino with that like 180-degree smash at the third base, that was wild.
Oh, yeah.